Today is May 2nd, 2023. I was on YouTube yesterday and Jeff Bezos made a statement that anybody can be millionaires. And I realized the statement that he made uh, was very powerful. He stated that uh, when he was working for a corporation, he talked with his boss that he wanted to sell books online. And the boss said it would be a better idea for somebody who didn't have a very good job. And so, what he alluded to is that essentially what I want to do is a calling. It's a calling. It's something that is something that must be done at any cost within the bounds of the law. And having that, it seems to go beyond mindset. It goes beyond mindset. It is it is essentially taking the DNA of myself, because each of me, everyone has that DNA, and it is my responsibility to bring out that uh, personality from that DNA, because it is in me and everyone else on earth. Because God has implanted that calling within me, programmed within my DNA, the RNA, DNA, the sequences of TTs and ATs and the sequences that are within my DNA that make up a string of content that God had programmed within me. And that it's like my tailbone, right? It has been suppressed for uh, as my development into becoming a fully upright man. That has become, the tailbone has become essentially a stub. I suppose if I were to harness that, I could probably grow a tail. I don't know. I don't know. The reality is, when I think of anything that I do, which is so important, that I believe that it is a calling from God, then I would take that and run with it and essentially make it a successful thing. It is a calling. And before there wasn't really a essential beacon of light that says that's the path that I'm going, and there's no way to waver from the direction that I'm going. I'm going in that direction. It's a calling. It's a call. So I look at all the uh, turmoils and the frustrations and self-loathing and self suppression and self essentially being mean to myself and belittling and being upset and being disappointed with myself is essentially it is a journey that occurs. And if I think of it as a calling, and I know that it is a growth from birth to a fully grown adult. Adult meaning that uh, the novice to a professional day trader, And being a professional day trader requires constant study because this is a discipline of study and acquisition of constant changing environment with sustained thoughts that are continuous. And so when I think of it that way, it is maturation into adulthood or being a professional day trader. So essentially this is essentially my calling. People say that Catholic priests and Catholic deacons, they're called to their position. They are called. It's a calling. God called them to do their job. That is their calling. For me right now, my calling right now is to essentially God has corralled me. It's like the chicken in a coop without a roof. It is a chicken mesh, chicken wire that's surrounding it, and the chicken is in the middle. But God had created a open space where I can flap my wings and jump out of that chicken coop. It is a calling. God had created a silver lining. When I look at the ceiling, when I look at the sky, there's a cloud, and within it, there's a silver lining, and above. And that above is essentially is that chicken coop with me being the chicken and flying out of that chicken coop through, seeing where the silver lining is and going with it in that direction. And essentially, what he stated, Jeff Bezos stated, is that essentially when I consider what I am doing as a calling, which essentially means it's a life mission to the end. It means that I will be on this journey no matter what, within the bounds of the law, that I will be until I push up the daisies, when the fresh soil's dug up to bury my cremated body, that I will pursue this career to the end. That's my calling.